Yes, chef! Freya grabs the handle of a frying pan and gives it a flick and a shake, while spooning cranberry confit over a row of equally spaced tuna and citrus fish cakes with her slow hand. The hairnet still itches after all these years, her flaming red tresses bursting to escape the confines of a tight bun. It's 8 p.m, dinner service is at its peak, and although she should focus, all she can think about is whether Charlie has opened the link to the Golden Spoon cookery competition she has applied for, and whether he has enough remaining annual leave for a fortnight in Cyprus. Drizzle, flick, drizzle, flick, drizzle. Too much confit. Not enough. She twists the tray this way and that to examine the fish cakes from all angles, and then panics that she's becoming too much like her mother. Wasn't obsession-compulsion one of the first symptoms? Filling her lungs with hot air, she exhales sharply through her nostrils and counts to 5, repeating twice until every thought in her head is dispelled until next time. The kitchen is at full tilt. Plates rattle, pans clank. Water hisses from the cold tap, sizzling against the piping hot baking tray as it clatters into the sink. Freya looks up as the thud of something solid hits the worktop, and a tub of frozen God knows what gathers speed across the smooth stainless steel. Plop. It falls off the end and into the food waste bin. "Grab it then," Courtney barks through a curtain of sweaty dreadlocks. Peering into the bin, Freya wavers. "Don't you think?" "Quickly!" Against her better judgment, she plunges her hand into the damp mush of potato peelings, capsicum seeds and fish heads to retrieve what is labelled Courtney's Roulade, do not eat, and gives it a rinse under the overhanging hose. The lid is a bitch to peel open, even with her good hand, its seal frozen along with its contents, and Freya having to lever it out with the handle of a serving spoon, which takes off 2 fingernails in the process. "Microwave instructions on the bottom," Courtney roars. Freya turns the frozen tub upside down, sets the microwave to defrost, and keys in the requisite minutes. 3 lamb chops! Courtney flings his oven glove onto a blood-stained tray of rapidly diminishing sardines. "Yes, chef!" she yells, grabbing another lamb chop from the meat station and returning to saute a handful of king prawns. Sweat pools at the base of her spine. If only she could cook everything from raw ingredients, instead of microwaving the shit out of food that has lived in the freezer for over a month. How she'd love to take over the running of this place for a day and give both the menu and decor an overhaul, restoring a taste of the Mediterranean to its former glory when it opened 3 decades ago to rave reviews. Or better still, start afresh, putting her own stamp on it. She peers through to the dining area with its dated wallpaper and frayed carpet, and is reminded of the way her mum described herself 3 months after giving birth to her. Worn out, tired, and suffering a complete loss of identity. Strip the wallpaper. Paint the ceiling. Get rid of the statue. Who the hell wants to guzzle polpetta alla bolognese under the lustful gaze of a god with disproportionately large lumpy meatballs of his own? Well, maybe Zeus can stay. But as for the rest, take everything back to basics. Replace the signage and let the food do the talking. If Freya were head chef, or executive chef, as Courtney likes to call himself, a title that apparently affords him the freedom of ditching his hairnet, the menu would be simple yet delicious, fancy yet unfussy, allowing each dish to be tried, tested and perfected. The focus on flavour rather than volume, giving diners the Mediterranean taste sensation they crave without needing to fly to sun-kissed coastal Europe. She looks down at the jagged pink scar running across the flesh between the thumb and forefinger of her right hand and sighs. One day, she will leave this place and set up solo. She didn't spend a whole year studying for that ball-breakingly difficult exam and writing a 10,000-word dissertation on Mediterranean menu plans for nothing. One day, soon, fingers crossed, she will cash in her advanced chef accreditation for a chance of winning the Golden Spoon, a little-known but highly prestigious award that has gained gravitas over the years, originating in Cyprus and producing some of the most talented chefs in the world, and something she can only dream of right now. Draining a panful of spinach, she wonders what it might feel like to be part of that small, revered clique of super chefs. The microwave bleeps, the reality of the here and now slapping her in the face. Still, golden spoon or no golden spoon, she's getting too old and too frustrated to be somebody else's sous chef. "How long for the lamb chops?" Courtney plucks a yellow ticket off the ballooning row of orders. 7 minutes, chef, Freya shouts over the clangour of falling saucepans. Andre, maitre de whatever it is he does, glowers from the serving counter, the vein in his temple pulsating. 7. Freya looks at his smart black suit and crisp white shirt, the side parting of his hair an immaculate straight line, and imagines what his bathroom would be like. High-end men's toiletries, perfectly aligned on flawless polished glass, each label positioned at the same angle, impeccable, pristine, befitting of a psychopath. 1 minute prep, 2.5 minutes on each side unless you want them rare, 1 minute to garnish and present, she says on the exhale. For fuck's sake, Andre clenches his fists, his knuckles rage white. In his 18 months of running the place, Andre Cobb has only ever taken 3 days off. 1 for his mother's funeral and 2 days for his honeymoon, and it shows. Since buying into the business last year, his co-owner a silent investor based in French Guiana, he has become a stress ball of knitted nerves. His mere presence in a room serves only to conduct anxiety and tension amongst diners and kitchen staff alike, the pronounced lines etched into his forehead, and constant tremble in his left leg, a testament to a decade of restaurant kitchen PTSD. They've all tried talking to him, but he won't listen. Not to Freya, not to Courtney, not to his saint of a wife. If he doesn't get everything yesterday, it's not good enough. He shoots a death stare at Freya. Any slower and you'd be in a fucking coma. The scar on Freya's hand starts to itch. Short of a miracle or buying 20 microwaves to heat up defrosted gunk, food preparation takes time. Cookery is beholden to rules, not to stifle or prohibit, but to provide a fail-safe method. Heat at the right temperature and dough will rise. Bake for too long and cake will burn. You can't boil an egg or pan-fry a lamb chop in 3 seconds, and that's the way it should be. Otherwise, where would be the joy in it all coming together? The sweet honey fragrance of slow-cooked marinated pork, the anticipation of rising sourdough, the gratification of roasting flaked almonds for long enough to give them that sweet, nutty flavour, without them becoming too oaky and brittle. These are moments to be savoured, not rushed. How she would love to tell Andre what she thinks of him right now and return his volley of abusive comments with a tirade of her own. Fuck him and fuck him some more. She looks down at the baby leaf salad she's drizzling with dressing, her stomach dropping with the stark realisation that the bottle she is clutching is soy sauce, rather than balsamic vinegar. Shit. So stressed she's seeing double, she slides the salad towards the bin, only for it to be immediately scooped up by Courtney, who shoves it under the tap, washes off the brown residue and sets the leaves aside to dry. The temperature soars, the oven behind her belching out heat, until the air is so hot and humid that they could be in a Turkish bath. She pulls at her collar, sweat trickling between her breasts, and repeats the mantra she learned from her home economics teacher at school, Mrs. Kyriakidis. Breathe. Stay focused. Happy is the heart that cooks with all its soul. Move deliberately and with efficiency. But, above all, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. She smiles to herself, remembering Mrs. Kyriakidis' olive skin and amber eyes, her bird-like frame and mass of unruly thick black hair. She thinks back to the low-fat yoghurt cheesecake she enjoyed making this afternoon when Charlie disappeared to watch Spurs versus Liverpool. With time on your hands and room to fail, it's easy to enjoy the process. But let's be honest, a Saturday night dinner service is an altogether different kettle of fish. The pressure on the 5 of them, herself, Courtney, 2 line cooks and a plongeur, to deliver 200 covers in an evening is heart-attack fodder as it is, without being under the hot-headed, fist-slamming, acid-tongued scrutiny of a stress cadet like Andre. She throws her head back, enjoying the way her clothes stick to her when the kitchen is furnace hot, her skin feeling alive, her senses heightened. Hot air swirls with the aroma of garlic, chili and lemon, everything coming to life with a splash of olive oil. Breathing in the vapour, a cooling sensation passes over her as a waft of cold air blasts in from the back streets of Nottingham, through the fire door which has been wedged open with a crate of Peroni. The smell of rosemary-infused lamb intermingles with the fragrance of garlic prawns, and, like songs sung in rounds, the aroma of starters mixes with that of mains and desserts until they all overlap, a harmony of gourmet food. A smile plays on her lips as another rush of heat rockets from the oven. Maybe she is enjoying the process.